Nairoman kota, utulunling, nenulande darling lockwood. I know, ibanaput, kuna di pejululing. Ibanaput masane, ingutulikin dong utulaga important ki parik mada. So, we are really sorry. We are about to cancel the show, but ya di kui poni kete aiben koda ko jurling. Sincere condolence to Kojulu community in general. Kotana namani kang Auntie Mama Jaharia, may your soul rest in peace. Jore Longden, Mama Jahara, will remember her. He konesina galepengu konakin hipojulu betulu. She was a great mom, a great aunt, a wife, and a grandmom. May your soul rest in peace. Yala kotiko monyalikang laga long kakarjo. Stephen Lukudumanas. May his soul rest in peace as well. Musnana kani nande ayom loron wala yapa loron. Ipo julu betululing. Amamalis. Wito go ita Taylor. Who you pray adiku let them rest in peace. Back to the topic likan law about youths. Nyonaga youths kang ba involve Riki jede events the community. Talaga loron. Because youths selog banyo selog ba a future for the next generation. So yung yinga kazi kukode ku Canada naga kuko ay marunda i community kata. Nate. Once again, thank you all. Kindly, can you all share the video, please? I know the speakers, they are on the backstage, and I will bring them shortly. Malis ngar video na. Ngar video na. Kulo yole tutungo, yala ako sulujilu kundo. Sinate. Hello.
From the camera, then if
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys are all welcome to Payukal Samasubia Live.
It's a video.
I think there's a noise on the background. Can we all mute ourselves and then If you want to speak, then you unmute yourself. Thank you. Yusuf is here. We left it with one person, right?
Yes, one person is missing.
Okay. All right. Once again, you guys are most welcome to Pujurali Samasubia Live. I don't know if we should give a minute before we start our introduction, or so that the next guest should join us, or we should carry on.
Just give a minute until the last person joined, and then we can continue.
Okay, thank you. Victor, do you have a song that you can play for us from there, please? While waiting for the next person to join. Or is it Victor that is missing, right? Okay. Sorry, but I could just see you nodding your head. Yeah, because he said he has a song that he wanted to play, but he's not yet here. Maybe. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Now we got disconnected with network again. Do any of you have any song that you want to play, please?
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Esther, Bidale, Yusuf, Stella, Mary. Oh,
I have no songs at the moment.
okay. What kind of music do you guys want me to play for you then? Because today's all about youth. You can choose what kind of music do you want me to play for you, then I'll play for you. Oh, Bidal, if you have a song there, that will be great, please.
I do, but I don't think it's going to be loud enough. I will try to.
Please, yeah.
I think, wait, I think we just played that a few minutes ago. It's from the phone. I don't think it's going to be loud enough.
Yeah, we can still hear it. I can hear it. I don't know the rest of.
We can hear it as well.
And I'm sweating. It's too hot. I'm just gonna take off my jumper. Give me a
Because
second.
you're taking tea.
Give me a second. I was feeling cold earlier.
Ooh.
Hello guys, am I in?
All right, I think we're all good to go now.
Sorry guys, I'm a bit late, you know.
Okay.
Is that Victor using the? Oh yeah, I can see him there.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Hello guys. Hello Dava, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Hello everybody.
You're most,
Bye.
Yeah, sorry guys for coming late. My apology.
it's okay. It's all right. I think we are good to go now because we are waiting for Victor. Once again, thank you so much for taking your time to come and stream live with us today. What we can do is we will start with introduction and then we will take it from there. Okay?
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you. I will start by myself. My name is Ray Dadawa. I'm the General Secretary for Julkal Samas to be alive. It is an honor to see all of you, our youths, to come today and discuss matters that are really important to all of us. And I myself, I'm also part of the youth. So you are most welcome. And you guys feel free to discuss anything you want to say or use any language that you want to express yourself. Then before I go further, what language are we gonna be using? Can you all speak Pojulu or Arabic?
Probably English and Arabic.
Arabic would be good, yeah.
I'll be balanced between the two, but predominantly English.
It's
Yeah,
best
you
we
can just use. You can
comfortable
just use. Sorry, you can use a language that like you feel comfortable using it. That is really fine. As I said, today's all about youth, and this is our days. We can use a language, any language that like we are comfortable with. So thank you once again. I will start with you, Victor. If you can introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Dava. Hi everyone. My name is Victor Ubede, and I'm from Fujulu. Some of you might know me, or maybe know my dad, you know. So it is my pleasure to come and share ideas with our brothers, you know, from different states, you know. So thank you again, once again.
Okay. Thank you. The next person next to Victor is Esther. Esther, can you introduce yourself, please?
Definitely. Hi guys, my name is Esther. I'm currently situated in Sydney. I too, I am from identified in the Fajulu community from my father's side. So it is a privilege to be asked to actually come and share my insights in terms of how the youth can be involved in the near future. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Stella, next, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Stella. I'm also from Sydney. I'm identified as Fujulu and also half Bari, but my dad is Fujulu, so yeah, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. Hello, Mary. You're next, please.
Hi guys, my name is Mary. It's Mary Morgan. I just like to go by Amosa because it's very rare. I am from Fujulu as well, and I'm from Perth, WA. So it's good to be on this one, on this channel today because it's the first time. So I'm interested to hear what everybody has to say. Thanks for the invite.
That's great. You next, Bidali, please.
Well, I go by Bidal John and Piwa Pujulu, obviously. I can speak the language, but it's a bit difficult, being out of practice for a while, but I am happy to be sharing this screen with all of you guys, and I'm looking forward to sharing more.
That's great. Thank you. I think Yusuf went off a bit, but
I think he should be back. And yes, I am from Brisbane as well.
Okay. Wait, he's on a backstage, but I
think Victor just dropped offline as well.
This app is sometimes so annoying. Victor's on the backstage.
Yep, I'm back again.
Yeah. Okay. So I know used to be snow here, but I'm just gonna ask a simple question first. So can you guys understand or speak a little bit of Fujulu?
Yeah, I do understand, yeah.
Was that, but who answered that? Was it Bidali or?
That was
Victor.
Victor.
Okay.
I can understand and I can speak and write as well.
Ah, great. Great. What about you, Victor?
Yeah, I do speak a little bit, not that much. Only the simple stuff, but I understand you.
Personally, I cannot. Closest thing I can do, I'd say to an adequate, and I'll just count from 1 to 10. That's the most I know, nothing else.
What about you, Mary?
I prefer to speak to English, please. English only.
Okay, that's fine. No, what I meant was like, can you at least understand or speak a little bit? I know we're gonna be using English, obviously, but I'm just asking, like.
No, I don't understand. It's only a few words here and there, but I'm not.
Okay.
I don't understand. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. What about Esther?
Is it me?
Sorry, Stella. Sorry, Esther. I meant Stella.
No, that's fine. No, I can understand, but speaking is a little bit difficult. I used to know how to speak it well when I was younger, but as I grew older, because coming to like Australia, and then English was like the main thing spoken. So I kind of forgot how to, yeah, but I could check sentences here and there. Yeah. But not perfect.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's normal, and at the end of the day, this place is a place where we can learn. Even if you can understand, be honestly, that's good. But as long as you're ready to learn, you will be able to learn. Let me go to Yusuf. Yusuf, you came when we did our introduction. So can you kindly introduce yourself to us and the audience, please?
He's gone. He's in
Uh-oh. I think the network is disturbing him, but
yeah, it's all right. He will catch up.
yeah. Okay, as we already did our introduction. Oh my God, he's back again. Let's bring him again. Hi, Yusuf.
No idea what's going on.
It's the network.
Yeah. Juma, can you hear us?
Yes.
Juma? Yeah. Can you hear us?
See me?
You just keep cutting off a little bit.
Yeah. Hi, Yusuf.
Very well.
Can you hear us, please? Okay. Okay, if you can hear me, please, can you introduce yourself, please?
Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Uh-oh. He went again. Okay, I think we can just carry on, and then he will catch up if he joins us again. As I mentioned earlier on, it is an honor for you guys to be here today. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm just gonna go to the question of like why Kwajulu youths, wait, he's on the backstage again. Yeah.
Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me now?
We can see you and we can hear you as well. If you can hear me kindly, can you introduce yourself to us, please?
All right. First of all, I want to say sorry about it's cutting off and on. I don't know. It keep dropping. I don't know what's the problem. It could be the reception around where I am right now. But my name is Yusuf Juma, and I'm from Fujulu, Lanya, and I'm currently in Brisbane, Australia. I missed everybody introduction, so as you guys go, I will pick up the names and how we pick up the names and get to know you guys as well.
And that yeah, it's okay. It was the network disturbing you, but yeah, we are glad you're back. So unfortunately, we will not do an introduction again unless if
it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
So,
it's okay.
So,
I can see the name, so I'll be able to pick it up.
You're right.
No problems.
Okay, thank you. So, as I mentioned earlier on, it is honestly an honor to welcome you guys on the board today to discuss about an important issues regarding Fajulu youths in diaspora. So, what I can say is just a one question, and then I will give each and every one of you to answer what he or she think is the cause of why Pojulu youths are not involving themselves in things to do with community. As we all know that the youths are the next leaders for tomorrow. Yeah. So as leaders for tomorrow, we have to know things to do with communities, things that can bring people together. So honestly, to have you today is the best day. So I will start with the question of why Fajulu youths are not involved in themselves and things to do with communities, like an example, things to do with in case if there's an event, there's a meeting, or anything that can bring community together. Why we can't see most of the youths be involving in such kind of events. I'm gonna go by names again, and I always start with someone from like next to me, and then so I will start with you, Victor, please.
I thought you're gonna say ladies first.
No.
Yes, please. Ladies first.
Is the Western
No,
world, you know,
I'm gonna mix up. I'm gonna mix up good enough, like 3 ladies and the 2 men. So I'm gonna mixing up.
All right.
Yeah. So you still want me to start here?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's very interesting question, you know, when we say why the youth don't attend, you know, the Fujulu activities, you know. And it is a big question, you know, and it's very hard to answer, you know, because there's so many reasons for the youth not to attend, which is I'm pretty sure we're gonna discuss tonight. I'll put more input, you know, as we go. I'm just gonna answer a simple question. I mean, simple recorded answer. Why the youth don't attend the Fajulu activities? That's my personal opinion. Because the youth, there's so many reasons. Like when we look at, you know, some of us, you know, we came here to this country too young, and when we came here, our parents, you know, they become busy with, you know, with work. Like they didn't have time, what they call it, like, you know, to sit down with us and introduce us about, you know, the culture and all this, you know, like, you know, back home, you know. That's why most of the youth, they don't know about, you know, the culture, you know. That's why it's hard. Like you can't just expect someone to come and what they call, attend the program when they from home, no one taught them what they call, like, you know, about the culture. And that's why, in my personal opinion, I see what they call, like, the youth, they don't come to the community activities because no one has, you know, told them, you know. I don't blame, you know, the parents, but we know this, what they call it, this Western world, you know. Everyone is busy. You know, moms goes to work at night, in the morning, and dad goes to work at night. So it's a bit hard to catch up with the kids and start explaining, you know, like about the culture, you know. Even when we looked at what they call, like, some of, you know, my brothers here and sisters, I don't even know them. Why? Because no one has told me, like, oh, this and that, that's your relative, you know. Which is, that question is really big question. It's hard to answer it, you know. I'm pretty sure as we go, we're gonna narrow the question and we will be able to answer it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, they normally say there's no smoke without fire. There must be a fire. That's why the smoke comes up. And okay, Stella, you are next to me, please.
All right. The reason why the youth doesn't attend community programs. Well, this is my opinion. I hope nobody gets offended or anything, but I feel like not blaming our parents or anything like that, but again, true coming to this country would have some sort of impact.
Stella, just 1 minute, yeah?
Yeah.
Stella, 1 minute. Bidali and the Victor, can you mute yourself, please? And the Stella, before you go any further, I just need to let our parents who are watching, please and please and please, we are here to discuss something that it can be so beneficial tomorrow. So if any of us discuss something that like maybe it may offended you parents, please, you can forgive us, but we are just looking for a solution to our problems. So in case if they mention things to do with parents, please don't be hard on us, but just take it on something that we can learn on it and teach our children on it, please. So I know you parents are watching, and you are also, as parents, you're so concerned why youth they don't involve themselves in such kind of events. So please, let's give them an opportunity to express what is really disturbing them or what is really bothering them. So my apology to all parents, and please allow us to discuss what is really important. Thank you. Sorry, Estella, to cut you short. Now you can continue, please.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah, as I was saying, I think it all starts at home. If tradition has not been taught like from an early age, then as growing up, you won't really know how tradition is like or our background. Again, like Victor said, coming here, our parents got into like the work field because they have to like provide for us and stuff like that. So sometimes that could also have an impact why our parents cannot sit down with us and really tell us what our tradition is. But at the same time, I feel like I'm going to be speaking for myself and from my experience. I don't want to offend anyone, but growing up, going to community events and stuff like that, kids were always looked down upon. We were not really involved, if that makes sense. They were always like, oh, you guys are too young to understand traditional things. Or if you want to put like our 2 cents into like, oh, how about we try to do it this way or try to see it from a youth perspective. But we were always like, we were always looked down upon, dismissing everything that we say. So that was kind of a discouraging to me. So I was like, look, if it's gonna be like that, I might as well just step away, because it's like I'm trying to present something that might be a beneficial within our community, but it's like they don't want to, they see, I don't know, at that time they see us because we were young. It's like we don't know anything, but that affects really, like it affected me to the point that I have not been involved in community events for so long because of certain things that I've seen and certain things that have been done. And yeah, it's like so that's my opinion, guys. I don't want anyone to be offended or anything like that. Apologize to all parents, all the aunties and uncles that are watching, but yeah, really I feel like it can't, if it doesn't start at home, then where are we going to learn it? It really starts at home, teaching young youth about culture and stuff like that. And as we grow older, we became interested in other things, and then our mind were captivated with other things that we don't even know our own culture. And it's kind of, I envy other cultures, to be honest. I envy other, when I see like, for example, the Mahdi tribe, how cohesive they are as a youth. It's very, I'm very envious. I'm like, oh, why can't our youth be like that? But again, it's like, oh, nobody's really interested, because we've always been looked down upon and, seen as we don't know anything or we don't know what we're talking about. But oh well, as we continue, we might find a solution, and hopefully this will be hopefully this will be some sort of a beneficial, and we'll come to a solution and move forward. Yeah.
May I just add something to what Estella just said? You don't have to apologize for what you just said, because I know and I understand where you're coming from. What you just said is true. And for the elders, the aunties, the uncles, and everybody, instead of getting offended, how about you teach us? Use that energy that you get angry, channel that positively, and then teach us the culture.
Oh wow. That was deep. Stella, as you said, you don't need to apologize.
Yeah.
But as human beings, you just feel like you don't want to offend anyone. That's why you keep on saying sorry. But to be honest with you, we are here to bring something that it will benefit all of us. Because at the end of the day, community is a community. Community is like your an ID, Without the ID, you will not sit for exams. So that's an ID, something that can identify who you are. And that's why community is so important. We can have different kind of life out there, but at the end of the day, community will always be important. And it will be great if our parents take us along and they introduce us to community to know about our community. So before I go to Mary, because Mary is the next person next to me, before I got to Mary, I just need to ask you guys this question. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't ask you from the beginning. After the discussion, if any parents would like to come and give an advice or add on what you guys said, will that be okay or no? I just need to ask information from you, because this show is all about you youths, and I don't want to do something that like you feel like, okay, this is about you, and then why am I bringing parents in? Will that be okay, or they should just write their comments down and then I will read for you guys?
No, I think it's all right to get them involved and to see also from their perspective, and how to just so we can come to some sort of understanding with one another.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I know it's as I mentioned earlier on, it's a one question, but it has so many answers. So many answers. So, Mary, your next person, please.
Hi, I'm gonna answer this just from WA kind of perspective. I don't know, I can't speak on behalf of the youth from the other states of Australia, so I'll just speak on my experience. And so just the reason why young people are not really participating in the much in the Fadulu culture here in WA, from my experience when I was a bit younger, I was very involved. I would attend all the community events with my parents, everything up to the age of, I would probably say 15, and that started to die down. Again, it's not for anything that's, not that I've been offended in the community or have seen something that I took offense to. It's just that it's not useful for me anymore. I respect and I love my culture. I really do, because like you said, it plays a huge part in my identity and who I am. And it really gives me that self-confidence when I'm going to other places. It reminds me that I have a culture and I'm proud of that. However, when it comes to the practical side of really the community here in WA and the youth, I don't find it very beneficial, only because we obviously know that we're in a Western world and it's growing every single day. And now we've hit the year 2020, and the community is still doing the same thing. And I keep hearing from the elders that, well, the youth don't want to join. We're going to have a sports tournament. We're going to have a dance workshop. Like in 2020, that's not what the young people need. Again, in WA, we need things that are sentimental, things that are that's gonna help actually invest in our lives for the future, things that we're gonna use and pass down to our children that's gonna help them integrate into the society that we're living in the Western world. So just to cut my answer short, it's the community is not growing with the world that we're living in right now, the Western world that we're living in. We are no longer back home, so we can't be teaching the same things that our parents were taught in terms of lifestyle. That's where I'm coming from. So if we can perhaps make a few changes to how we want to teach the culture and pass it on to our children so that they can really reap off it and be able to use it in their everyday life, then yes, I would say that the young people will start to get involved. But one of the causes that the young people in WA are not interested anymore in joining the community events under Fadulu culture is because it's not beneficial at all. They can't use it for tomorrow. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Mary. So yeah, yours is like you feel like not beneficial to you. Or okay, you talk about change, make some changes. What kind of changes do you think will be beneficial to the youths?
If they want to teach the culture, so if, for example, I don't speak the language, but if they have the motive that, you know what, we want our kids to start speaking the dialect, I would encourage the community leaders who are now educated, a lot of them who have degrees, I would probably ask them to set up a tutoring session or some kind of teaching sessions, if not on the weekends or something like that. That's a step ahead where you can start teaching the kids the language. And so now the next step would be, we want to teach the kids our traditional dance. You know, you would have somebody within the committee board that would then volunteer a day from their week that, you know what, I'm going to teach the kids this dance. So it's going to be like an ongoing, consistent thing. It's not just a once in a while. That's something that we can, you know, update a little bit. Or if I want to, you know, the youth nowadays, our kids, we want to really get them, we want to push them forward within the education sector. Okay, let's have some sessions of tutoring where we have somebody who has graduated in university that from Australia. They can now, let's hire them and let's invest in our kids. Stuff like that. That's where I was coming from.
Exactly. But now the question is, if the youths are not close to the elders, will that changes be there?
I think that allegation is kind of incorrect to say that the youth are not close. Yes, people my age, within 25 or between 17 up to 25, they have moved away from the community. However, I've recently even attended, I guess, and have seen at one of the events here in WA, we still have kids that are between good age of 10, which are very appropriate to start learning the culture, between 10 up to 14 who are still attending. It's not too late to invest in them. So for somebody or for us to think as adults that the youth are not close, that's incorrect, because now you're forgetting the ones that are actually there. You're paying attention to the ones that are already gone. The ones that are gone, they might come back one day when they see the results of your investment in the ones that are still here. So I don't think that comment, I can't agree 100% with the comment of the youth are not close, because they really are. It's just now they've been discouraged. That's all.
Okay, I got your point. So, yeah, who said he want to jump in? Yusuf?
No, it's Victor.
Sorry, Victor.
Probably our voices is similar, you know, with Yusuf, you know. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut what you call it, Mary.
Okay.
I was gonna call her Gizmo, but because that's my younger sister, I was gonna call her Gizmo, but because I'm not used to this, I mean, name Mary. Actually, yeah, I totally disagree with you. You said what they call it, the community need to invest. What sort of investment we need to invest on the youth? Because at the moment we are taking what they call it, the Western world, what they call it, culture, which is we don't want it, Because when we looked at what they call like in our life in 20 years time, the Fajulu culture will go. There will be no more Fajulu. The dialogue will disappear. We will never know who's my cousin, who's not my cousin, which is gonna bring so much what they call conflict in our life, I'll give you a simple example, like if, for example, I'm not married, and I was looking for what they call it, for someone to get married to. Then I just went to what they call it, to Dawa. I'm like, oh, Dawa, I want to marry you. Then we start communicating, Then we went on here, introduced Dawa to the family, without knowing what they call the background of Dawa, where she from, I just met her on Facebook, or maybe I met her what they call it at the end of the party. Then we start to go ahead with our thing, But then when we go back, like slowly, I found out Dawa, she's my sister. How's that gonna feel? This is when
So
what they
what's
call
your
like
question with,
this is
sorry?
when what they call it, the culture hasn't been taught, and that's why we need to
Right.
keep the culture alive. We can't just say, oh, okay, we need to learn what they call it, the other people what they call it, I mean, like culture. I don't know if you get
Right.
my point. That's why
Yeah.
for your culture is really important. We need to teach our what they call it, our kids when they call it the culture, so that they will never forget it. Because for me, from my own
I agree
opinion,
with that.
I can see it start to die slowly.
Right. I agree with that. I think my point was not that I would like to drift away from the Fajulu culture and adapt into the Western world culture. What I was trying to say is that we need to find different ways of teaching the young people the Fajulu culture, and actually properly, really investing proper time, not the same way that our parents were taught, because that's not going to get the attention of the young people anymore. That was a different time, and now we're living in a different time. So the way that the young people learn now is different, and I feel that that's something that the community elders need to understand and really respect. Is that when they finally understand that this person learns differently from the way I was taught, I'm gonna have to get down to your level and teach you what I want to teach you. So if it's not that you need to forget everything you were taught. No, it's just that find a different way and really then start teaching those people. So like I said about the tutoring kind of side, so if you were to, for example, if somebody who is well educated and understand the Fajulu culture, if they were to say, okay, we're going to have for the next 6 months, for those that want to learn the language, like I was saying before, we're going to take off Saturday and we're going to teach our young people. And parents can take their kids to those classes. That's one way of learning. And if some kids don't like to be bored in classes, you have to find a different way of teaching them. The culture is still being taught, just in a different way now. That's all.
Yeah, that's good. Let me just what I call it. I'll refer back to what I called Stella. Stella said before, like the look down upon what they call it the youth, which is that's the main cause now for the youth not to attend what they call it most of the program, Because if you got a child and you want that child to learn, you need to bring that child next to you, and you need to trust the child. Because if you don't trust your kids will never learn. And that's one of the main issue we have in our community. There's no trust, and we don't give opportunity for the young one. And we look upon we discourage them, And that's when they use this like, oh, if since that's the story, I'll just leave. And a lot of the youth, they don't like what they call it, dramas, they just choose like, they just walk off slowly, And that's the main issue now we have it, in order for the youth to come back to the community. If we do not solve that problem, we're never going to be what they call it, we're never going to go forward. There's more I will talk about later. Let's give round to the others as well.
Thank you, Mary, for saying out what you feel or what you think is right. As I mentioned earlier on, we are here just to find a solution to what is really keeping us or keeping some of us. As you said, some might still be in and some are not. But on what you say that the youth, like the youth shouldn't follow exactly the way how our parents were taught. You're totally right. But if we, the youths, didn't raise that complaint up, that, okay, for instance, our parents will tell us, oh, this is how things are supposed to be done, or this is how you're supposed to do this, right? If us, the youth, didn't stand, we will say, okay, we totally understand the culture and we agree it is our culture. We will not shy away from it. We will definitely go with it. But I think we should make some changes to it a bit, because we are now growing up in that different world compared to how you guys grew up, right? So if we open our mind to them, explain to them what our problems are, that will be okay. But for us just say, okay, I don't feel like the culture is not beneficial to me, and then I decide to isolate myself from the community, will that solve a problem?
No.
Yeah, no, it won't. It won't. But can I just but you say, I don't think it's what do you call? Wow, my head just went blank. Sorry. To be honest, the fact that you're saying, oh, we were isolating ourselves, we no longer want to be involved, it's not that some of us have not tried to speak to the elders and try to inform them of how, look, the time that you guys grew up in, or the time that you guys were brought up in, it's completely different to where we are now. We are in a Western world. It's completely different. So I myself, I've approached an elder and I've told them, look, how things are being done back home is completely different to how it is now. Maybe me, because I came at a younger age. Maybe there is still some sort of thing that I've sort of learned when I was back home, and maybe I could, for me it will be all right. But for the younger ones that grew up here, the ones that are born here, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be difficult for them too. So that's what, by using different strategies, and really it's all about being open-minded. I think that's what the youth want, for our parents to be open-minded. It's not like, hey, let's not practice our culture, but please try to understand where are the youth are coming from, because it's a struggle for us too, coming into a completely different country at a young age, trying to adjust into the system, and also at the same time going home trying to adjust into our culture. So it was a bit difficult, you know what I mean? If only our parents could really understand where we are coming from, and if we could find an agreement, that'd be great. But a lot of time when you do raise up an issue or some sort of just a complaint, or just like, hey, this thing is not working out, how about we try to use this way? That's where the dismissive thing comes on. It's like, oh, what do you know? So it's like, oh, okay, sorry. But yeah.
Do you mind if I interfere? So just to branch off what Stella is saying, in short, it's just there is no platform for us as a youth to raise our concerns. That's point blank, period. That's in short. There's nowhere we can go to. Me, I for one, I don't even know who our community leader is. That's where the problem is. We don't know who to go out to, where we can get assistance, where we can communicate our ideas, and how we can execute it. This all comes down to the lack of vision. Now, I'll explain that more further when I do have the chance to actually expand on my point, but it's just there's no place to amplify the youth. With that, there is an issue in itself.
Wow, there are a lot of comments coming down there, but please, about the link, as I mentioned earlier on, let's just give them the chance to discuss what they want to discuss, and then if anyone want to join, then I will let you guys in. But for now, please, let's just give a chance to discuss. If you want to answer to any of them, just put your points down and then you discuss later on. You will definitely join. Thank you. They complained I'm not reading their comments. Once again, thank you. As I mentioned, things
So
here
guys,
we are just like no answer, like there's no wrong answer or a right answer. We just at the end of the day we are looking for a way forward. Okay, we are looking for a way forward. So Vidali, your turn. You've been so quiet at the corner there.
I was listening. I was enjoying the show. Well, before I continue, I just got a message from Yusuf saying that he is experiencing difficulty with the network. And I feel as though because we are obviously together in Brisbane, I can answer the question for the both of us. And can you guys hear me?
Okay. Sorry. Are you guys Vidali?
Yes.
Vidali?
Yes, I can hear you.
You say you with Yusuf, is it like the same place or just the same city?
No, not the same place, just the same city.
Okay. Okay. Because I was thinking if like the same place he could join you, but it's all right. Okay. Yeah, you can carry on, please.
In our political culture must be alive, or community events. I feel like there's just few dot points that we probably have come across, like Esther mentioned, and then Estella mentioned, and then Mary also touched on it, but then again she sort of mentioned something different that I did not expect. And from personal experience, I feel as though there's a few things that we, as the young ones of the Kodilo community, go through. If something is going wrong, we bring it up to the elders. The one thing, like Estella said, they're going to say, you're not there yet, you're young, you don't know what is going on. So for us, every time we bring that up, it's just, you get shut down with that, and you feel like, bringing it up again is just going to be a waste of time. And then the second thing I was going to say is communication. Most of these things happen, and then on the day that the things are happening, or the day before, that's when the young ones get the message that, oh, tomorrow we have these things going on. So you don't really have that extra time to sort of go out of your way to be there for the community, because tomorrow they don't know what you've got planned. And for most of us who are here in the Western world, we have a lot of commitments. You have your school, you have to be on top all the time, and then you also have work. And here the work hours are not set that it's Monday to Friday, and most of the community events do happen on the weekend. And then when that weekend comes, most of us are at work. And then, for example, your youth leader, you get that phone call or text or whatever that, oh, tomorrow this event is happening, but then tomorrow you're working. What do? The next best thing you do is, you sort of like reach out to, another one of the youth for them to sort of go to the event and represent us. But then what would happen if that person is also committed to something else, for example, work? You can't take off work because, for work, you obviously have minimum hours to sort of give notice that you can't make it. And then the third, which is sort of like makes it that communication is our biggest problem. We don't communicate. We don't pass the message around right on time. And the next point is, I don't know about the other states, but for us in Brisbane, we do have a system. We do have a nice youth system. We do have a youth group. We do have the elders. We do have the youth group. We do work very well. We've got the group since, if I remember very well, since about 2015. We started very well. We've been going great, but unfortunately, due to so many factors in between. We couldn't keep that group going. However, we are trying to sort of like bring that group back. And yeah, we are doing good. The people on top, we are communicating very well. However, when the messages go through the youth to the elders, it doesn't get passed around. So the biggest problem we're really facing is communication.
Sorry, Bidal, I believe you're on mute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, now we can hear
I
you.
think it was the network. I was not on mute or anything. And my screen was fine. Everything was okay. So none of that, nobody heard it.
Yeah.
Okay. I will have to start again. Okay. The first point that I said was.
We had the first point. I believe you're up to your third point.
Okay. Like I said, the young ones, they in a way embarrassed of their culture. Because we look, like Estella said earlier, we look at the other cultures, they are so good. What they do, we get invited to these events, we turn up, they are doing great. However, for us, whenever we come up with an idea for the elders, they always shut us down. We don't really have a voice. They always want to go forward with what they have in mind. However, what we have in mind is sort of to incorporate ideas, meet in the middle. We use what they had back in Africa to what we know here and meet in the middle and then come up with something that will benefit all of us. Somebody mentioned earlier, I don't remember who it was, about the cultural teachings. For us in Brisbane, we established that system. However, we never got it into work. We had an idea that on the weekends, people who can speak the language, right, would spend an hour or two after church to teach the young ones or anybody that wants to learn the language, whether speaking or writing. It's your choice. We had both. We had people who, we have people who can speak, who can write. But the problem is, for that to happen, you need financial backing. When it comes to that, when we do say that, okay, maybe on the day, every parent should come with, let's say, $5. Nobody turns up. So, you have 1 week where somebody turns up and then nobody turns up. And then, you're like, okay, maybe today they were busy. Next weekend, let me give it another go. Nobody turns up. And then the third weekend, nobody turns up. What do? If you turn up, it's going to be a waste of time. So you just fall back. You're like, you know what? It's okay. I can speak the language. I can write. It's fine. If they can teach their kids, they can. If they can't, it won't bother me. However, you saying it won't bother you, we're losing the culture. So the next generation born, they won't be able to speak or write. They can pick up some words, but they're not going to, make any meaning of those words. They could just pick up one word, water, pion, that's it. Dead, no more. And there is so much that I could speak of. However, since we've been here for a while, I'll cut it short. That is all for now.
Sorry, I was mute. Thank you, Bidale.
Yes.
And thank you to each and every one of you for speaking what they had in mind or what they have in mind regarding our culture.
I haven't had a chance to say something yet.
Yeah, go on.
Well, for my response
Sorry.
to the question, I'd like to tackle it in 3 sectors. 1 being value, 2 being real life experience, and 3 being vision. Now, my dismissal.
Victor, can you mute yourself, please?
Oh, yep.
Like I said, my dismissal of the community or my lack of involvement within the community all comes down to what I have experienced. It hasn't been like from an overnight thing. I woke up and I was like, oh no, I don't want to be involved in the Fojulu community. But this has been an ongoing issue that as I've grown, I've become to realize that it's deeper than myself, but it's more so to do with the structure of the community. Now, when I say structure, I'm going to branch into the concept of vision. If I'm not having a go at anyone, but just personally speaking, if there was a vision in place for us to actually grow and instill something within the youth, it would have reflected now. Now, I remember when I was younger, I've had ample opportunities to attend community like events such as Christmas parties, whether it be like a funeral within the community would also be there. Our presence was definitely there. And our presence at the time, like in comparison to now, we do have a choice to attend these things. And in comparison to then, we were actually taken as an acquaintance to our parents. So by default, this would have been an opportunity for youth, like for you guys as leaders to instill and embed value of how much tradition and culture we should carry with ourselves. Now, you guys obviously, the leaders or our parents haven't used that very wisely because we're now here discussing why the youth are not involved. So if there was a vision, then the vision would be definitely clearer now because we would be able to take positions within our leadership compartments, execute things, would have our own department, would have a funding opportunity, would even establish ourselves. We're in a Western country. The Western countries are definitely a place for opportunity and growth. If there was that vision, I kid you not, in 10 years, we would have become something. The Fojulu community would have been the strongest within Australia. 1, we can apply for government funding, establish our own community events, establish halls, establish education systems, make our cultural dialect something that can be educated within our educational curriculums. It requires vision, proper leadership, and involvement of the youth for us to execute those things. Now, when we branch into the concept of value, like I said, I've had the opportunity to attend events in the past. And even now, if I have like an auntie or an uncle who has lost a loved one, my presence is definitely there. My sister's presence are definitely there. My cousin's presence are definitely there. It's just the fact that the value hasn't been embedded. We out of respect, we are present there to lend a helping hand. But once that event is done, there's no pressing like thought like you should definitely go back and contribute. You should definitely go back and maybe rectify or reform certain structures because it's not something that's dear because that value hasn't been embedded from a young age, if you get what I mean. If that concept is there. And real life experiences, when we did attend these community events, we were often and always overlooked. And that's something that has had a significant impact on why we are not involved. If we're there, it's either we're looking after kids, we're in the back preparing meals, we clean up after, and after that, there's nothing. We don't know about the agenda, what the event is for, what we can get out of it, how we can contribute. All we're there is basically to aid in terms of hospitality. That's the keyword. We're there for hospitality purposes. And that's something it's like, are we just here to be used rather than be seen as an asset in this community? So if someone is going to use me and not see me as an asset, what's the purpose of me being there to edify or implement certain things? Because I know definitely the youth, the Fojulu youth, we're not people that are dumb. We're not people that are visionless. We're not people that have a black hole at the end of our tunnel. We're definitely bright people. We're filled with intellect. We're courageous. We're definitely not shy to call out things. But when we see that there isn't value placed in us, why would I then come bring these assets, these skills, these resources that I have, just embed in something that will, at the end of the day, not flourish? I don't like to do things that don't flourish. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it with my whole heart. And I definitely like that to, excel. When I see things within the Fojulu community, there's no source of excellence. Why would I like to be associated with something that doesn't bear excellence? Like, you need to literally sit down and let this resonate with yourself. When you ask why the youth, it's not something that's overnight. It's something that's a pressing issue. Sometimes I lay down or I think, why is it now that they're asking us to contribute? Why is it now that they're seeing that we are of value towards the community? And me, based on assessment, if you look at things in the current climate of South Sudan, you literally look at the Equatorian community and the Dinka community that have this heated tension. And then when you associate yourselves back in Australia and you look at the political tension, both within the diaspora and within the continent itself, there is a hunger, or there's a zeal to continue the legacy. But if you want to continue a legacy, you needed to embed something in the past. And if there's no embedded things like value, culture, tradition, principle, I'm telling you, it's just an empty vessel that you're hoping for. So my encouragement to you is not the best thing to take from this is to unlearn the things you've already learned. You're approaching the cultural perspective and the youth involvement in a certain manner, but it's time you unlearn things from the past and start reforming structure. One, we can start by reforming our concept of the youth. It's being misconstrued at large. We think the youth are from the age of, let's say, 25 up. We take the young ones for granted, and that's something that really hurts me. It's a pressing issue. When you think of youth involvement,
I think you dropped out.
I think connection.
Just give her a second. She'll be back.
Yeah.
But she's definitely onto something. Everything she's saying is hitting her at every point.
Definitely, it is.
Wow. I also will come back. She went off. Hopefully she will come back. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Honestly.
To be fair, there's more you said. We just don't have the time.
I think everything that she said was, honestly, I feel like majority of the youth are feeling that way. I feel like she just spoke for everybody.
Yeah.
Even whether from WA, West, Brisbane or whatever, I feel like that's for the community as a whole. I think she pointed out important things. Like I said, how we were looked down upon. You know what I mean? When we could be some sort of if we were not seen as an asset, why would I add? If I'm not being seen as someone that can help or someone that can contribute into the community, then why would I go? Why would I attend? Or why would I take time out of my own time to go into a place that will not benefit me? Gisma was saying, Mary was saying, she was also saying, if something's not beneficial for you, why would you attend? It's exactly like how Esther's saying it as well. When we go there, they just see us as nothing. Most of the time, seriously, going to community events, and it's very repetitive. Every year is the same thing. It's either barbecue, Christmas party, barbecue, Christmas party. We don't want that. Why? how is that going to be of benefit for us? Like Bisma was saying, how is that going to be of benefit for her? Christmas party, barbecue. What are we going to learn from that? Nothing. And then when we come up with agendas, when we come up with things, hey, how about we try to do this? How about, okay, let's open schools. You know what I mean? In 10 years of, honestly, Body community, Fujil community would have been way better if we worked together. Like, if they really, like, I don't know, if they really took our ideas back then, it would have been different. We would not have come even to be in this broadcast talking about why are the youth not being involved. You know what I mean? But because I guess elders thought they knew best. So I don't know.
Yeah, they did think that they knew best. However, whenever they take the young ones to these events, they feel as though you're taken there to observe and learn until when it's your time, that's when you're allowed to speak, which is, I feel it's wrong. Because for me personally here, I do get some messages sometimes, why are you guys not getting involved? And I would always reply that, whenever we come up with an idea, the idea doesn't get implemented or it doesn't get mentioned. All we get is, oh, that might work, but this is better. But the question is that it was better back during your time. Now it's a different environment. We need to sort of put the two ideas together and do what is best for the young generation. Like, for example, let me just go back to what we started here in Brisbane. We started and we came up with an idea that we would teach people the Bari language, kids and the elders. And after a class, we would practice dancing our traditional dance. However, that did not work because 1, finances, 2, time. And the third one is the young ones feel a little bit embarrassed because some of the African communities that are here, they're way, way ahead of us. They've been working together for so long. They communicate very well with their elders. The elders listen. But for us, our elders don't. Back to what Estelle said, every year, barbecue party. What do we learn from that? We just go there, eat meat, dance, go home. All we do is gain weight, nothing else. We, the young ones, we try to sort of, some of us have that, that energy, that ambition to learn our culture, learn our language, and pass it on to the kids. But we don't get that opportunity because we always get shut down. And from the youth side, I just feel like they are a bit embarrassed also to participate because they see the other cultures there, and then when it comes to us, we look at each other. Oh, the Bari speakers, particularly Pojulu. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, we're just having a barbecue. When it comes to the dance practices, we don't. I don't know about the other states, but for us here in Brisbane, we have tried. Some people do turn up, you try it, and then when that day comes that we actually have to do the dance, most of us just have to improvise. We go along with it. The music plays, we try to move to the beat and all that, but we're not always perfect. We're getting there, but if actually we take time to practice this, it doesn't have to be every week. Maybe once a month, once a fortnight. It's all we need.
Thank you, Vidali. And Esther, before I welcome you back to give you a chance to talk, parents, I know you guys are listening, and some of you were requesting for the link. So I just send the link down there. Once they finish with their discussion, you are highly welcome to come and put your inputs. So, Esther, you're welcome back, and you can continue with your points as you were a bit cut off because of the network So you are welcome.
Thank you. I do apologize for the shortcut there. But just following off what I was saying, I believe I was placing an emphasis on how much importance parents or youth leaders should see the younger generation within our communities. Let's not overlook their ambition. Let's not overlook their age, because to be honest, the seeds that come out of the younger generation will form so many fruits for the long run. Me speaking, yes, let's say I'm medium in terms of age. Yes, there is impact, but what the younger youth see is what's going to be of importance within the next 10 years. So please, please, please place a high level of importance in your young ones. And when they say something, it might not sound like the smartest idea or the most strategic idea from the community's lens, based on what you know, based on what I know, but just do not denounce what they say. Take it legitimately, not illegitimately, legitimately, and let that, because in a way, if you start allowing them to have a conversation, if you start allowing them to plan, you're embedding leadership skills. And not to misconstrue anything, yes, we have our own individual leadership skills, but collectively as a community, the form of unity for us to actually, let's say, work collectively, innovate and strategize and impart these skills, we haven't embedded that. And speaking with the guest speakers here alongside my people from Brisbane, from Perth and Sydney, I can't confidently say that if we sit down together, we'd be able to collaborate and know the pressing issues that can be commonly grounded within the Fadjulu community. That's because there is no leadership structure that has been embedded in my generation. Now, I urge you as community leaders, as you are listening to this, not to take this lightly, but take this as a pressing issue. Because when you said the future is in our hands, the future is the youth, I'd like to rectify that statement. I'd like to say the youth are the future and the future is now. It's not within the next 2 weeks. It's not within the next 6 months. It's not within the next year. The changes need to be made now. That's like any presidential campaigns. Any change needs to be rectified now. If you press this issue within the next 6 months, the pressing issue is not what will be today. It's something that happened 6 months ago, and a new pressing issue needs to be reformed. So that's all I'm saying. If you'd like me to elaborate on any other points, I'm happy to do so, but that's just for me to close my statements. Thank you.
Also, just to add on to what you just said about the future, I would just like to add that if we are willing to commit into it, doesn't mean that we say yes today, so that all of us be happy and forget about it, and then tomorrow you say no. Commitment has to be a commitment. We have to follow through with it, because look at it this way. Tomorrow, you guys, the elders are there, us, the young ones, we're here, and the younger generation is coming up. So what happens if the elders disappear? It's up to us. If we don't learn what the elders know, the young ones would not learn anything.
I definitely agree. And with anything, if you're going to make structural changes or reformations, you definitely need people who follow through with consistency and have the passion and zeal to execute accordingly. It's not something, like I said, it doesn't happen overnight to gain these skills. It needs to be embedded. Like, you have your own skills. I have my own skills. Victor has his own skills. Stella has his own skills. And Mary has his own skills. And we also have our own set of ambitions. So one thing we could use to tackle this is actually establish a youth association, because, like I said, the concept of youth has been misconstrued. A lot of us think youth begins from the age of 28. We're not even acknowledging the 10-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, the 22-year-olds. What are they then? Are they still children? People, when we adults, we change and we carry our own real life experiences. And through these real life experiences comes a beauty from it, comes a lesson learned, where we can, use that to edify ourselves, use that to edify others, and use that to edify our community. That's the whole essence. Community isn't just a group of leaders, pack of children, or pack of women doing things. A community is a body that requires everyone to function together. We're one vessel. If one person is not in the same accord, nothing will happen accordingly. Nothing will be executed with excellence again.
Exactly. And also, the elders like to, well, I'm just saying elders because we obviously do respect them. They are elders, we expect a lot from them. However, when it comes to the leadership, for most of us in the community, we do consider age as a huge determining factor. However, I would personally like to suggest that age shouldn't determine who should and who shouldn't be the leader in the community, and also who should and who shouldn't speak. Doesn't matter if you're 18 or 35. If you have the right ideas, the right mindset for us to go forward together, for all of us to benefit as a community, you should lead us. If you have any idea, it doesn't matter the age. You could be 5 years old. If you have a little bright idea, speak up, tell us. And this is to the elders, please. Doesn't matter how old the young ones are. Just give them that little moment to listen to what they have to say. You don't have to consider it. Also, you don't have to shut them down immediately. Just think about it and then bring it forward to the table and say, what if we actually implement this and that, instead of what the, somebody that is, let's say, 55, comes up with an idea. These young ones might have an idea that is better than that, an idea that would actually benefit us as a community, not just you as an individual.
Wow, thank you, Bidal. Let me go back to Mary, Victor, and Stella. Mary, do you have anything to add on?
No, I think we've kind of all touched on the same thing in regards to the question. And few pointers that stand out is just the vision that needs to be really clarified. What is the community? Where do they want to go in the next 5 years? Where do they see themselves? And what's the plan for the involvement of the youth? That's something that's constantly come up. And really understanding and moving pride aside, by respecting the young ones that are already there and really investing in them and not looking at the failures of the ones that have left the community. That's something that everybody has kind of mentioned already. And just really that respect, that's that mutual respect between the older, like the elders and the young ones. So I don't really have anything to say besides, I think we should maybe stay focused on those points that have been made already. And for the parents and everybody else that are watching this, if you can answer those questions on the comments, that will help us really just focus on one thing, because we can say a lot in regards to that question, why youth are not being involved in the community, but we want to just touch on those points for today. It's just the visions and that mutual respect. That's all.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Can I add?
Victor, yeah, I can see raising your hand, so.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you to my sister. Is that Esther or Estella? Yeah, one of my sisters. She spoke a lot, what regarding
I was
Esther. Esther. Yeah, she made so much point, which is I totally agree with her, And one of the issues, we have so many what they call problem, we shouldn't be just focusing about the youth, but we focus in general, the community, We have so much what they call problem in the community, Not just only the youth, So one of the issues they call I found that in making the youth maybe dropping back, always the leadership, Leadership, is about what they call teamwork, For us as a Fajulu to go forward, we need to be as a team. Most of you guys, who play soccer, if you're not a team, the team will not go forward, and that's one of the things we're lacking, in our community. We're not together as a team, With the leadership, for example, myself, if I become a leader, so I start to look at everyone as what they call, as nothing, which is wrong, Even the Bible says, a leader, you have to be what they call a servant to the community, in order for the community will go forward. But instead, now it's opposite. The leader, he's the one what they call, he's the head, and the rest has to follow what his order. This is when the problem comes, you know. And that's when the youth, what they call, they decide to leave, you know. And the other thing, what they call the vision. The leaders, they have no vision, what they call, for the youth or for the whole community. For example, I'll go, what they call it, to like some of our, you know, sisters, you know. We got sisters who are, you know, going through a hard time, you know, like maybe they're separated with the husband or whatever they're going through. The leaders, they never ask, they never check on those, you know, what they call those girls. How are they going? So those sisters of ours, they decide to raise their kids by themselves. And when the kids grow up, they know nothing about the community. I totally don't blame, you know, the kids. Because why? No one has, what they call it, you know, raised their hand up to check, what they call it, on that sister of ours, you know, who are going through, you know, hard time. And this is when, what they call it, those youth, they'll grow up, the kids will grow up knowing nothing about community, and they'll never attend the community. This is where the role of, you know, the leader to come in and, what they call it, you know, make sure he check, you know, he look up, I mean, he try to see, I mean, find his, you know, what they call it, you know, his fragility, what they call it, you know, members. And the other thing, what they call it, you know, opportunity. They never give opportunity for, you know, for the youth, and they never trust the youth. Even in my house, you know, what they call it, if I don't trust my kids, you know, how are they going to be a leader, you know, leader of tomorrow? And how are they going to learn? They will never learn. And if we look to, you know, Kawajat, when Kawajat has a business, he doesn't bring someone from outside. He brings his own kids. He trains them, and the kids will, you know, will get the, you know, the skills. That's why in our youth, I mean, in our community, we're lacking that, you know. We do not give opportunity for the kids, you know, or for the youth. Like, you know, my brother said, you know, youth, you know, it's just all about, you know, coming to the, you know, the party, eat meat, and go home, which is, does not really, what they call it, you know, grow the community. We need totally change in our community, and we need to have, you know, good communication. And one of the issue, like, you know, some of the youth, they live, we have, you know, bad, what they call it, you know, members in the youth, I mean, in the community, the way they speak to the youth. You know, they throw, what they call, some, what they call, like, you know, negative word, which is really bad. You know, we need to be careful with our words, you know, when we speak to the youth, you know, because the use of, you know, what they call Western is different than the use, you know, of, you know, back home. In order for them to, you know, to win them, you have to bring, I mean, you have to come down to the level. But we don't have that, you know. We just come on here. I'll come and say whatever I want to say, and we never know what they call, those words will hurt, what they call, some of the, you know, the youth, and the youth will decide, you know what, I don't want to come. That's why, you know, it comes all to leadership. The leaders has to, you know, select the right people who can, you know, lead, you know, the community. People who are humble, you know. For me to be a leader, I always have to go to, like, you know, I have to be, what they call, like, you know, what they call it, you know, the servant, serve, you know, the community. But now our leaders, you know, some of them, they just there for the power. It's all about me, but he doesn't look at the main issue, what they call it, what's happening with the youth, you know. And the other point, what they call it as well, we have a lot of, what our youth, you know, they're going through, what they call, like, you know, problems, you know. Has any, what they call it, the leaders, you know, try to go and, what they call it, like, ask what's the problem with the youth? No one has, you know, what they call it, done that. That's why the youth of like, oh, you know what, no one cares about me. But if we do care, I mean, we check on them. This is when, what they call, the youth, they will, oh, you know what, my community, they care about me. I know few of them, what they call, they're going through hard time, you know. But the community never, what they call, like, you know, check on them. The only thing, what they call, the community can, I mean, they're good at, we just create program, and I'll invite whoever I want to invite. Whoever I don't want to invite, I'll leave them, you know, out, which is totally completely wrong. We'll never, what they call, make our community go forward. That's why we need to, what they call, like, you know, we need to have the right, what they call, leadership. Give the opportunity to the, you know, to the young one. And we need to know how to communicate with them. It's not about, what they call, like, you know, Barabi, you know, Goa, you know, it's about, what they call it, communication, you know. Always try to, what they call it, come down to the, you know, to the youth level, you know, if you want, what they call, if you want to win the youth, you know. And that's how I used to do it, you know, my choir at the church. I always come down to the level, you know. I'll play with them like, maybe I'm the egg, but no. But that's the way for me to know what's inside the head. And that's what the leader need to know. He need to calm down, or she need to calm down and ask the youth what's exactly what they call it, what the vision, what do you want to do. From there, the community will go forward. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna go forward, and that's all.
Sorry, can I interfere? I just want to expand off a point that Victor raised in terms of, I guess it's bringing more positive language rather than negative, the use of negative language. The emphasis I'd like to place on this point is the concept of safe environment. One reason I am also reluctant to be involved within youth programs is because it's a place of hostility. Whenever I'm in the midst of the community, there's always a hostile presence. And I'm like, what is this presence? It always makes me feel unwanted. It's like there's judgment, severe judgment, whether I'm doing good, whether I'm doing that. It doesn't matter who I am. There's always like a sense of judgment just because, well, I don't know if it's my age or my youth, my appearance, but there's always this sense where it's like, oh, I feel like constant judgment. It's like, do I even want to be in this environment? Because I'm not too sure if you guys as elders have heard of the concept of energy, but we can feed off energy. Energy is a large contributor of whether we are associated or we are disassociated with you guys. So it's not everyone that we're saying, but there's just a small minority that often portrays this hostile, like energy towards the youth. And I feel like for us to be more inclusive and feel as one, there needs to be more positive energy and more enlightenment of the youth. So just uplift us a little bit higher, although we might not be doing great, but that source of motivation and the change in creating a safe environment for us to come and associate as one and be involved, that would go a significant way.
All right. Just to add on to what Esther said with the energy, yes. I do agree with that strongly. I do support what you just said. Also, just to add on to that, I do feel as though every time most of us do turn up to these, I'm not speaking for the whole of Australia or for the rest of the world, but I'm speaking for Brisbane in particular. When we do turn up to these community events, we get that negative energy. On top of that negative energy, we always have these sort of some behind the scenes activities happening with the elders that we don't understand. So we turn up to these events and there's always conflict that we don't know who started it or where it is going or how, whatever's going on. So we turn up there. You can turn up there once or twice, 3 times, and you experience the same conflict over and over. Instead of discussing what is going to benefit us tomorrow towards the future, they don't. They discuss something different. And you're just sitting there, you're like, okay, why am I wasting my time? Why did I come here? And you being there as a representative of the youth and the young ones, you don't really have anything to say but to stop whatever conflict that is going on. And even if you try to stop the conflict, it's always going to be, oh, whose side are you picking? Why are you picking that side? All those kind of questions, which sort of like breaks everything down. If you, the young one, want to go to that environment, it's a toxic environment. If there's always conflict, that means, you shouldn't be there. That's not your fight. So what I want to say is, when it comes to community things, I think that the little conflict that is happening with us behind the scenes, we should leave it out. When it comes to the community, this is our future. This is our today. Because the future starts now. If we don't act now, there won't be tomorrow. Because we can't always be like, okay, today we fight and then tomorrow we wake up and fix it. No. What if we fight today with each other? This will be the end. There won't be tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow holds. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to these community events, let's just be inclusive of everybody, regardless of age. Like, yes, there might be moments that we want to keep the kids out of the conversation. That is allowed. However, the things that involve the future, we have to include them. Their ideas matter. We have to communicate very well. We don't have to necessarily drop down to the level of the kids as the youth and all that. We just have to establish that communication channel that we all understand each other. Just because we're young doesn't mean we don't know what is going to benefit us tomorrow. Like, for example, today, I might cut off my finger. Is it going to be better tomorrow? No, it's still going to be cut off. It's the same thing. So, today I may choose not to cut off my finger. That means tomorrow I'm going to wake up with a nice finger. Simple like that. So we fix the issue today. Tomorrow we'll be fine. We just have to communicate and let everybody know what is going on. We don't have to leave it until the last minute and be like, oh, sorry, we wanted the youth to get involved, but you know what? Oh, do you want to get involved? By the time we send that message out, it's too late. Like most of the events, I know, some people need time to prepare some little things, but if you get that message on the day, within the hour, or 24 hours before the event, what are you gonna do? You won't be prepared. You're just gonna go there, feel embarrassed, and you might feel, oh, I did not do enough to impress the elders. What would happen in the next event if you personally feel that today you did not impress the elders? In the next event, you're going to be shy. You feel embarrassed that this one you might even embarrass yourself again. So you don't want to be in that event. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, guys. To be honest with you, as I mentioned earlier on, it was just one question, but with different answers. And I would like to request the elders, if anyone would like to come and join, I will accept you guys to come in. But I guess you've been watching and you've been listening to what youths have been saying. I just hope what they said, you guys will put it into consideration, we are in the model world that like we learn from young ones can learn from us as well. We can listen to young ones and the young ones can listen to us. Communication is the key. When a child says something, don't think what he or she said is useless. She or he just need you to listen to him or her. But if we ignore her, obviously you're sending that child away. But if you welcome what that child said to you, you are giving that child a comfort that tomorrow he or she will come back to you, because he knows that he will find a solution to that. So yeah, at the end of the day, you guys are the grown-up people. We should respect you. Respect is there. But what we need to know is we should learn from each other. A lot of points about like when they go to the events, while the grown-ups are like discussing something important, but you guys are sending them on the backstage. Oh, do this, look after kids, make this, serve dinner, the food, and at the end of the day, the event will finish. What did they learn? Nothing. They didn't learn anything. Tomorrow, the same thing. So I mentioned earlier on that there's no smoke without fire. And exactly. So the grown-ups on, please, parents, anyone who want to join, you can click the link and then I will let you in before I give the youths an answer of like what will be the way forward. Yeah, Gela Nala Melling is okay. I will read the comments out, because at the end of that day, let the parents come in first, and then after, when the parents come in and then put their inputs, then we will be able to come together, and then we will find a solution to what will be the way forward, you know. But obviously, you guys all heard what they say. They are the leaders of tomorrow. So, for instance, God forbid, if anything happened to the grown-up one, who will take over? And if they take over, but they don't know what to do, what will happen? That means the young generation will also lose, because they didn't be told what they want to do. So it's not just a matter of say, oh, so and so child is not coming to the community, so and so is not like bringing Syrian community, but there's always a reason behind it. Sometimes also the way how you talk about someone's child out there, it matters a lot. We are in these countries whereby at the end of the day, some of them, they don't have like parents. They struggle with their life. They try their best, but as a community, instead for you guys to like give them a morale, like to support them, all negative talks coming to those children. What will they do? Will they join the community? No, because they know that they don't have any parents who will support them there, because they will always talk negative things about them. Oh, wow. Charles, the link is down there, please. As I mentioned, any parents is welcome. And then if anyone is not joining yet, maybe I will go into the suggestion that like they were asking. Let me see, where is this question here?
Are you able to invite Charles?
Yeah, Charles, the link is down there, but I think, I don't know if he cannot see the link, but I sent the link down there.
He said he cannot find the link.
Is Radar on? We can see the question. So from Gila, one of his questions was, so what do you guys think as youth community to do for you guys?
Yeah, right.
So what do we want you guys to do for us? I believe that's what the question is asking.
Yeah, I think the question is asking that what would we as a community like to do for us, the youth? If I'm right.
Yeah, can I answer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for the community, they need to give the youth, the chance, and they need to give them what they call, like, they need to hear the point of view. No matter if it's wrong or it's right, at the end of the day, we learn from what they call the mistake. That's what the community need to do, and community need to check on the youth, not just they want the youth to come. The community need to go to the youth. Otherwise, some people are different. There's some who learn quicker and some that don't learn quicker, And that's where the role of community need to go for the youth and see where those youth are, how to bring them in. I'm pretty sure if the community goes to the youth, they will come, and the youth will feel, oh, you know what? I'm so important, my community is looking for me, That's my personal opinion.
All right. Well, Uncle Salah is on screen, so we should give him an opportunity to say something.
Yeah, Salah, you're mostly welcome. If you can introduce yourself, please.
All right. Thank you, all. My name is Charles Salah, and I'm here in Western Australia, in Perth, Western Australia. So sorry, I'm in a car. I I am not at home. We came for a funeral prayer, so I just want to catch up with you. I'm not at home. I apologize for the quality of the photos or the lighting. It's just because I'm in the car. Look, to just get to the points that you've raised. First, can I commend all of you for the vivid contribution that you've given to this issue, why our youth are not getting involved in the community, and why the parents are looking negatively towards the youth. It's a complex dynamic, to be honest. I have basically written down a few things that you've raised that are issues that needs to be addressed as collectively as possible, so that we can go forward. Of course, I acknowledge the resource that is being missed out in the person of the youth input into community activities. And when I mean community activities, it's not only the community association as an entity or as a structure, but here we're talking about the family structure of the Pojulu. We're talking about the clans. We're talking about the bigger Pojulu organization or Pojulu as a unit. So, of course, some of the issues that you have raised may be limited to, say, to the perspective of an Australian setting here, so as a community association. But of course, we do also need to have a look at the lens of how it's impacting not us in diaspora only, but the whole Pojulu as a sector or as a unit, wherever they may be. And that's where my interest is. For example, what do we intend to do as Pojulu in our Pojulu land? For example, if there was peace, what are we going to do? And I look at this with the lens that we have had many Pojulu intellectuals, professionals, whatever you name them, say, but if you go to the Pojulu land, I think the only thing that we can pride ourselves is maybe local secondary school and LVTI. And I think that is a sad reflection of the nature of our society. And of course, if we question ourselves individually as Pojulu people, how does that reflect? How do I proudly walk on the street with my head high, saying I'm from Pojulu, when actually the whole Pojulu land doesn't even have an ambulance, for example? You know, that's the sad reality of it. But I mean, that's a general comment. Going to the questions or the concerns that you've raised, I will just briefly skim through them as I jotted while you are discussing. One is that, of course, most of you agree that the youth are not valued in these community associations, community settings, which I agree with. That some parents do not trust you as the youth, that your voice is not represented in any decision making, and that there's no concern shown for any youth that has difficulties or has some issues they're struggling with, that the whole Pojulu community has no vision, that the communication style is not appealing to the youth, and that there's not safe environment for the youth to get engaged in the community organization per se. And of course, I know that those things do happen. They're still happening. But can I say that I'm really impressed by the energy that you brought, by the discussion that you put in. And I think this is a good thing that we need to continue to engage, because unless we do so, we cannot, if you're not heard, then we cannot fix anything. But it's good that I think we are engaging in this debate, that we are trying to point out some of these issues so that we can address them. For example, I'm uh, uh, interested in that we resolve some of these difficulties, because these difficulties or these challenges or these concerns that you've raised are not difficult to resolve. For example, and like consultation or giving you a voice, these are simple things that we can change within no minute, and we move forward with energy. The other point that I would like to make is that you, the youth, you have a lot of energy. You've got the technological know-how. You've got the academic requirements to make anything happen. And for example, take for example this Pajulu culture must be alive. That's a product of one of you, the youth. You know, you've got all that we need to improve our community as Pajulu. So can I just say that don't sit back, that you have the opportunity to be in the steering wheel. Some of us have been through a lot, and we are here as a resource to you, to support you, to guide you. Of course, I'm not saying in the sense that what you have learned or what you have is not sufficient for me to guide you. But of course, a second eye is always is better than what you have, because you can look at things from one perspective, and then I can also look at it at a different perspective. And then if I give you a suggestion or a guidance, a mentoring role, I think that will make even things better. So I think what we need to develop together as a community, regardless of your age, regardless of your education level, regardless, but we should be looking at ourselves as Pajulu. Today, if, for example, I am sick, you know, I need to be able to see that Victor is a doctor. I can go to Victor. I can call Victor. Victor, please, I'm sick. Come and treat me. Tomorrow, I can, for example, go to Bida and say, Bida, I have my house. I need to be built. Instead of me taking this money to give it to someone, I can give to Bida, and that supports Bida's business, but also he gives me the service that I need. That is the culture that we should be looking as Pajulu, regardless of where you come from or where you are in diaspora, or where you are located at the moment. But we should be looking at the interest of Pajulu long term, because unless we do that, we may just make noise and make noise and make noise, and we go no further. And of course, it's critical, especially at this moment, that we as Pajulu really put our heads together and think critically about building first the trust amongst ourselves, and the channels of communication. We should be able to open ourselves to each other, trust each other, that if you have a concern as a youth, you're struggling within your life, that there's someone that you can trust, that you can go to, and you can ask. It does not necessarily mean that a community leader should do that. It could be any one potential elder within, or someone older than you within the community that you can approach within the Pajulu, and that person can help you confidently, knowing that we're helping this as our own son or as our own daughter, that tomorrow they can be able to help others who are coming behind. That should be the culture that we should be building amongst ourselves, with trust, of course, and having that big vision that whoever is a Pajulu, regardless of where he is or where she is, that we need to build each other up, and build each other up with the hope that we will one day regain our greatness as Pajulu people. So I think that what you have started is really encouraging. Personally, I have been one of those who has struggled to see that the youth really engaging. Of course, I may not have done it at a bigger scale as a community, but I have individually supported some of these young people, talked to them personally, and I've guided them. And some of them, I'm glad to say that they have successfully moved away from some of their challenges, and they are becoming responsible people. So, as Pojulu, I may be a little bit older than some of you on this forum, but like Victor say, my thinking is in line with what you're saying. I consider myself still a youth. If these issues that are facing you, if these issues of leadership, if these issues of mentoring, if all these are very critical things that we as Pojulu need to address amongst ourselves. We have to look at cleaning our own house. We should not be denying as older people or as leaders that these are not, what you have raised is not important. No, I think the first step is for us to acknowledge and to recognize it and to thank you for it. And then we start working on them so that we improve the channels of communication, so that I think, yes, some of the elders may have responded to you harshly. Some of them may have not approached you in the right way. Some of them, of course, you know also that some of these community organizations, people are just elected on voluntary basis. So some of them may not even have the qualification to run a community organization, needless to say. But of course, leadership requires a lot of things. Requires, of course, communication is one of them. Requires patience and tolerance. Requires also creativity and innovation. You know, even like you mentioned about the issues of the youth, it requires creativity. We have to create something that is very innovative that we can involve with the youth in, and then some of the things would have been addressed. You know, so these are some of the things that sometimes even in the churches, for example, you know, sometimes people are not gifted all the same. People are gifted differently, and sometimes delivery of the information of the message sometimes is not delivered in the right way, and of course that may not resonate with you, the youth, and of course I think, and then it becomes a problem, and it sort of impedes the message reaching you. So I would like to say again that let us work on some of these issues that you have identified. And I think, of course, I know that Raider said that there will be a suggestion of ways forward. But can I also suggest that let's have a forum where we sit down every day or every week or every month, that we bring up a topic, we discuss, we share it, and we build ourselves up as Pojulu. As I said, regardless of where you are, regardless of your age, that we support ourselves, because learning is not only limited. Yes, some of the older people may have certain experience in certain things, but they may not have the knowledge that some of you might have. So it's a two-way traffic. Learning is a two-way traffic. Like, for example, myself, now even I find I'm learning more than when I was in school. I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm listening to YouTube, you know, to people who have done things. And that's how we learn. And that is the knowledge that we need to give ourselves. Knowledge does not happen only in the in school or in academic settings, but it happens even within the community. Listening to someone, listening to their story, that gives you something that you can learn and you can use for guiding yourself. So I don't want to take much of your time. I'm really, really glad that you have raised some of these issues and some of these concerns. Just take from us that personally, I feel that most of these issues we can easily resolve it, and that our future as Pojulu is too important for these small concerns. I'm not denigrating these concerns, but I'm just saying that our future is too important for us to risk because of these minor things, these minor concerns that you have raised. So we need to all humble ourselves and try to overcome these concerns and build that Pojulu vision of being one of the great, very strong. We are few in numbers, but we are strong in drive and in resolve. So can I commend all of you for the vivid discussion, your contributions, and your heart, opening up your minds and opening up your hearts. You all bring in some rich debates that we need to have more. And some of you are even way ahead of us. You know, those who are already elders in the way of thinking, in the way of exposure, in the way of technology, in so many ways. So as I said, learning is two ways. When we say we come to the culture, we come to say, for example, issues to do with how do we raise our families, how do we guide ourselves. These ones we can say, okay, let the elders look at this. But then if we say, let's look at things of how do we develop our Pojulu land in the 21st century? How do we move forward from here? Well, and then we can say, okay, this one, let's give the youth. Let them research on these issues. Let them look at how do we get water to all the Pojulu land? How do we build the schools in all the Pojulu land? I believe we can get somewhere. So I just want to stop here, and I'm happy to give more comments as we go forward. Let me give chance to others to comment, and then I will come if need be. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Salah.
Thank you so much, Uncle Salah. Okay, Esther, you're gone.
I do appreciate all the insights you've given, Uncle Salah. I definitely do appreciate it. But I feel like you did mention the last statement you did make about how the youth can innovate and impact people back home, improve our land. And one of your opening statements was to do with peace and in reference to there's not even an ambulance back home in our land. So I guess when you approach the question from that perspective, then we can tweak our insights a little bit. So if the question was directed at how the youth in the diaspora can impact the youth or members of the Pojulu community back home, I believe our insights or our responses would have differed. Like, I'm definitely passionate about assisting people back home, and it goes beyond our needs here. One thing we do need to acknowledge is that our pressing concerns in the diaspora is not what the pressing concerns is back home. So when it comes to matters of how we can assist, it definitely does require us to liaise with members of the community back in South Sudan, just so we can understand their real life experiences. Yes, we have media. Yes, we have social media, or yes, you have communications here and there, but getting someone to jump on, say, a segment like this and explain their real life issues and pressing issues and say, hey, look, this is what we as the youth in the nation of South Sudan are experiencing due to the lack of peace, due to the lack of healthcare, due to the lack of a fundamental education system, then I definitely would say my response would not have been in terms of the structure and leadership within Australia. I would definitely critique my responses to fit the current climate that's going into South Sudan. So I think next time, it's not to say that we would approach the question wrong, but next time if we do have another segment like this, maybe it's how can the youth in the diaspora enforce real life, like impact experiences, and say maybe we can establish our own non-government organization to assist our own brothers and sisters back home. Because it's not to turn a blind eye and say there isn't an ongoing issue back home, but there is actually a pressing issue. So next time, just maybe there's clarity in the question in terms of what's going on within the diaspora and what's going on within the nation. That would definitely help us, because I think it's bigger than issues of structural changes when we talk about back home and the concept of peace. Yeah, that's my pick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone Anyone would like to comment on what Uncle Salah said before I give an opportunity to Pastor Elizai?
Not so much. This is not to comment on what Salah said. This is just generally, just in regards to respect of time. We've already been on for 2 hours. I think that moving forward, it will probably be a bit more productive if we answer the questions that are in the comments, just so we can kind of give them that peace of mind. And also, maybe any opinions that people have or any kind of comments, let's leave it to the comment section. I just think that we're now kind of drifting off a little bit from the main topic here. We're bringing a lot of things and we're opening the gateway for people to join the chat, and that's going to prolong and it's going to cause us not to answer the real question of why young people are not joining the community. So it's becoming a very big group chat. So I think let's just answer the questions first that are in the comments, and then, leave it to that. If anybody wants to say anything, just let them just stay in the comments for now, or else we'll be here all night. And I know some people, it's already like past 9 o'clock for them.
Okay, you're right, Mary. Vidal, are you talking there? Your voice is down.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Sorry, I moved location. Am I clear to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, what I was saying is that if there's any questions that I'm not going to answer today, comment picture.
Uncle Salah, Rita, Andrew, can you guys mute yourself, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can carry on, Vida, please.
Okay, I'm just adding on to what Mary was saying, that we're running out of time. If there's any questions that need more discussion, we can just leave it in the comment, and then we can pick another day, and maybe the discussion can start early, and so we can just have that extra time to discuss it all. However, if there's anything that we did not cover today, we could just leave it in the comment.
Okay. Thank you, Vida. Most of the okay, let me just give the ownership. Let's see. We have a question regarding what will be the week forward. There are a lot of comments. Just let me hold on. Can you guys see that?
Can I say
Yeah, hello?
something?
Who's Andrew? Hello?
It'll be late. Oh. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Is that Andrew?
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool. Just trying to use my headphones.
Okay.
Okay. You can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
That's good. Thank you. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just gonna take my Bluetooth. All right.
Guys, can I say something quick?
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, can we give
My
the
name is Andrew Ladvi. Hello.
guys? Can I just interrupt?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, just we need to follow order, because I can see Pastor, Eliezer came before, before Andrew. If we can give a chance to
Oh, okay.
Pastor
That's
first,
fine. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah,
Eliezer
then
can
the
go
other
ahead.
guy can come in.
Sorry.
We just need to have an order, otherwise it's bit disorganized. Then after that, we can
Sorry, I
just go
didn't
to the
know that. Sorry.
question.
Yep.
Then we just wrap it
Oh,
up.
that's fine.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry being rude there.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. That's all good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Pastor Elijah, you're welcome. You joined on earlier on, but there was a network problem. So obviously we've been here for long, and with the time differences, it's getting late in some other places, and then we have like so many questions coming up. So if you can just give us your view for like 1-2 minutes, that would be great. And then there are a lot of questions down there, but most of the questions they were asking about what will be the way forward. So we may put that one down and then we choose another day again, because I can see everyone is yawning. Luckily, it's still early, but yeah. So, Pastor Emmanuel, you're most welcome. Okay, I think his network is down. Andrew, you can carry on, please, because his network is disturbing. Andrew, can you hear me? You can carry on, please. Andrew, can you hear me?
Okay. Thank you for having me, guys. I know I was meant to get join you guys a long time ago, but hello. I sort
Yes,
of lost you guys for a second. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, we can hear you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Look, to be honest, I'm actually a chairman of Pajulu community in Queensland or Brisbane. I could say that. The problem about youth, we're having problems with youth, is because it's not all about that, but the thing is maybe because they don't recognize how important the community is. We try to encourage them to come to come to the meetings, and it's not about saying that they don't have to be involved. We need them to be involved, but if you try to put them, you try to invite them to come through, they sort of like ignore it. So how are you going to do that? But the purpose of ignoring it is really not good, because some of them, they think that, okay, because they're grown-up people, we are not of the same age, so we don't have to be there. And I think that could be the problem there. But they need to look into long term, because as you can see that when a child is born, the child has to grow and goes through different stages. However, during those different stages, this child has to be guided. All right. So if in a community you only see elders and you don't see the youth, that means where are the youth? The youth are the children, so they need to be there with elders, so that the elders can be able to pass down the knowledge to them. Because what I could see right now is that there's an ailing population of our Pajulu people who have got a lot of knowledge, but we're going to lose all that knowledge. But how can we be able to tap into that knowledge? That means we need to come closer. We need to spend time with them. It doesn't matter. It's only about, it only takes you about maybe, let me say, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours that you're gonna spend with them, and after that you guys can do your things as youth, but you need to come closer. And I'll give you a very good example. In Queensland here, we've got on one person, and this guy is our actual role model. He's always there with us. He's always in terms of, whenever we've got meetings, he will to to make some barbecues and stuff like that. He's and say, look, the community is something very important. But this is the problem here. But we need to fix that problem. We really need the youth to be next to us. We need them to be in the office. We need them to, to be part of the office, but they don't want to do that, or because we don't want to, we don't want to stay with Uncle Ad. It's not about Uncle Ad. So we need to take that mentality out. We need to, I think, go back to the basics. If we can be able to remember where we came from, then I think we can be able to know that, we need to value that. Because I remember, look, I went back to Africa, all the way down to Pojulu land, and I spent most of my time in the village. I just loved it. It's the best place ever. And I wish, if it wasn't because of all these wars, I'll just go and live there for the rest of my life. Because I do understand that there's a lot of things that we can be able to tap there. As a community, as a family, whereby the family combines of the father and son, and the father and the mother at the same time plus the kids, and the same thing, that's what happens down there. And that's the same thing I thought we can be able to transfer them over here, and we can be able to practice them. But when you get over here, there's different rules, and the rules, I think, is affecting us, whereby kids, they say, I've got my right, I can do whatever I want to do. I'm not going to listen to my dad because my dad cannot tell me to go to a meeting. Even if my dad tried to tell me something, oh, sorry, I'm not going to go there. Because here, your dad even can't drag you. The moment your dad trying to drag you and try to, raise his voice on you, it's sort of like an abuse. And our youth try to think that's an abuse, but they don't know the value of it. That if your dad raised your voice saying, look, can we go to the community? Can you come with me to the community? It's really good, because he knows that you can be able to gain a lot of knowledge from there. You can be able to listen to other people, to other uncles, to other aunties, and even at the same time, you can be able to engage yourself with other kids as well. Let's take an example. For example, if you could be able to allow in a meeting whereby all the young people could come together, all the old people could come together, it's really good, because that's where you can be able to tap into ideas, you can be able to tap into knowledge from from your peers, at the same time from the elders at the same time. And I give you a very good example. One time in
Are you there, Uncle Andrew?
in Queensland here, the youth did a very remarkable thing, party, whereby they invited even all the. So we came to the ones up to 11, but it was amazing, because at the, our drums, we played our cultural music, whereby even the youth were involved in it, even the elders were playing drums. And I was looking at it, saying, what, this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that we need to have, because one day these elders of ours, some of them, they sing, they're good singers, and they're going to die. But how are we going to be able to get that knowledge from them if we try to westernize ourselves? So that's why I give credit on them, but I need that thing to continue. And only not to continue like that, but I need them to be involved with the elders, so that they can be able to do something continuously. Now, when you look at this forum right now, I'm sorry to say, to take time, guys. When you look at this forum right now, you can only see about 41 to 42 maybe Pojulu people. Why is it only 42 people? We are meant to have more than that. There's a lot of Pojulu in diaspora. But the problem is, I don't even blame the youth. I also blame some of our elders, because they don't take this thing as important. I remember when Raider posted that this link that today they're gonna be having a sort of like the youth are gonna discuss some issues about to do with how youth are not involved in the community and stuff like that. And then I even I sort of like send them and say, look, you know what, I would like you guys to get involved so that we can be able to come and listen to our youth, and at the same time we can be able to give them recommendations. And if you notice anything wrong, give them, okay, this is what you guys have done. At the same time, these are the recommendations. Don't just blame them all the time, but at the same time give them some recommendation. And when I look at it right now, it's just like only 41. So where are you guys going to get this morale? You know, even some of you guys over here, maybe your dads are not even here. Even your moms, they're not here. You see, which is really bad. Yeah? And I need to make sure that they should be here. Next time, if this thing it has to be done next time, I would like to see that this number should be like maybe over 200 people. Yeah? Because in diaspora, we've got a lot. In Queensland itself, we've got like about more than even 30 families. You know, and these 30 families, they could be in each family, there could be about 5 or more. You see, you know. And in the whole Australia, we can even have like over 1,000. You see? And then when you look all over the world, there should be a lot of Pojulu everywhere. In America, in UK, in even in some parts of Africa, you know? So we need to find a problem. What's our problem? Our problem is not only even the youth at the same time, our problem also comes from what? From even the elders as well. So the elders has to be blamed for that. And at the same time, the youth has to be blamed for that. But we need to find a common solution to this. We need to go back to our basics. We need to go back to where we came from. You know, where we came from, we need to remember what constitutes a family, and even ourselves as Pojulu people. We need to know where we come from. We need to know what we do. We need to go and seek all this advice, you know. And my advice to you young people, if you still got your dads next to you, for those who maybe you don't have your dad next to you, please don't waste your time. Go to them and seek for more info. They've got a lot of stuff. They've got a lot of stuff that you can learn from them, you know. And I feel sorry that some of you guys may have lost yours. But look, if there's any elder within your community, just go and sit down with them and try to talk to them, and they will tell you everything. They've got a lot of stories that we can be able to learn from, you know. And I think with us being in the diaspora, we can be able to decide even to write books, to write stories about these older people, you know. So when they go, at least we know that we've got something that we can be able to put on our chest, that we can be able to help, you know, and pass it on to our youth, because we need our youth to come together. And the only time we can come together is that when we try to listen and try to seek where our elders are, and at the same time the elders has to go and seek where our young people are, because it's very important. If we don't have that one, I think we're still going to have that very big gap between the elders and the young people. And we need to find a mutual ground whereby we can be able to narrow that gap. And I think this is a very good step out. You know, I'm really happy to see that you guys can have a platform that can be able to talk about issues that's happening within, you know, our community. You see, and I think look, I'll be 100% supporting you guys on this. And next time, I think if you guys come with even different topics as well, we can be able to be involved. And I'll try to make sure that we encourage our people, you know, so that they can be able to listen to you guys as well. And I'd like to thank you on that. I'll end here.
Thank you, Uncle Victor. Sorry, Uncle Andrew.
That's okay. Yeah.
Thank you. At the end of the day, we are all looking forward for a solution. You know, they normally say things can go wrong, but we can also come together and they solve everything. Now, like, there are two different stories. You mentioned something of like youths are not coming close to parents, and the youths are saying like if they go to communities, they don't give, like, they are not being given an opportunity to discuss important things. Instead, at the end of the day, they were sent to go and look after kids while important things are taking place. So at the end of the day, each and everyone have their own opinion or something to say. But what we are looking into the way forward, you know. And unfortunately, our time is running out, and some of the youths are like, some of us are complaining of them. We have taken long. So most of the questions that have been asked down here is just like, what will be the way forward? And I don't know if you guys want to go over it to give your opinions of like what will be the solution to all what has been said. Are you guys getting me?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I think a lot of the questions that came through
Yeah. So
quite
there's a question like
in the
this one, like what will be your next step as youth?
Yeah, and the previous question was suggest 2 solutions
Yeah,
to rectify
they're all
these issues.
asking
So
like
they're
about the
all
way forward, the
similar
steps,
in nature.
what would like.
Yeah. So I guess if we just send through suggestions, Mary and I just wrote in the chat. I wrote structural reformations. So establishing a youth department. I'm not too aware of one that does actually exist at the moment. So if there is one, it's good for us to liaise with the established department and maybe send suggestions, and then also just improving our communication channels in terms of how we express, say, community events. It's not just a last minute thing. Maybe give us notice in advance and then communicate the agenda from there. And I guess Mary can follow through with the next points.
Just
Sorry, who is this talking?
It's Vidal. Sorry, just to add on to what Esther just said, that you don't know if this one that exists. We do have one in Brisbane. We do have a well-structured group that has been on since 2015. However, halfway through the journey, we sort of fell short due to lack of support and other issues. However, our next plan with the group was to extend it Australia-wide. However, we didn't get that far. So just to add on to that, I can say that maybe since this is already started, we should come together and extend that Australia-wide, if that is possible.
I respect that point, Vidal. In terms of, I understand you guys have your own structure at the moment working for you. However, I think in this case, just to kind of build the foundation a bit more here, I think each state, they have their own issues currently going on. Even though we did all touch on the same problems in regards to the youth, it's very common and it's the same, but everybody's situation is different. So for WA in particularly, whoever is from WA and they're watching, I would probably say for a solution, I mentioned the problems. It was consistency from the elders towards our young people. So they would suggest for young people to do things, or they say they're going to support them in some way, but then they don't follow up with that one. And then the youth drop out. So I would suggest consistency from the elders. If they're willing and they say that they're going to be an elder, it comes with responsibility. And with that responsibility, don't just take it as a volunteer job. Just as how you'll be committed to your job at work where you're getting paid, take it as that. Your reward is the kids will have a future and the community will stay alive as we want it to be. So if you're going to take the position of in the committee board of the Fadjulu in WA in particular, I urge you and I really suggest that you take it seriously. And if you are going to support a young person, support them all the way. If you're going to set up a program that's targeting young people, really invest in that program and invest in those people. That's one solution that I'm going to give. That's going to start helping the involvement within just the Fadjulu community in WA. Another thing that I kind of brought up as an issue was that the community is not, I think also Victor touched on this one, community not really understanding what's going on in terms of problems within families. They're not as interested to even know in details. So that's causing the young people to act out the way they're acting out, whereby they're moving away from the communities, or they're just not interested at all, or they're rebelling. Like, the community is not investing enough time to understand what the problem is at home, or they're pushing away the single moms, the single dads, and all this kind of, they're not providing proper support, like practical, proper support, real issues, besides just asking them to just come to the community event, come to the next meeting. You don't know if this person is financially struggling. So how are they supposed to attend the meeting? So my solution going forward here is that for the elders to really get involved in the families and support where support is needed, practical support, not word of advice, just and that's it, but really providing practical support so that these people can now join the families, and that way their children's children will stay in the community. So that's my issue. It's just consistency from elders and practical support. That's it. Not by words, by actual proper actions. I'm done.
Thank you, Mary. I'm just gonna give each one of you a minute to like wrap up what you want to say. I'm sorry, there are people on the backstage, but I'm sorry I will not be able to bring you in because the show is coming to an end, and we are just wrapping it up. It's really it's been long, and everyone is like kind of tired now. So we are just giving a summary of like what is the way forward, and we have a request from James Ben, because what I know is like this conversation will take forever and we are running out of time, so it's requesting if it's okay for you guys to come back and they finish this discussion. So for now, next person who want to give a summary, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, can I come in?
Yes, you can.
It's just my battery's almost dead, otherwise I'll go off soon. Yeah, I'm just gonna be quick, definitely I'll agree with, Uncle James. So if we can come back and be more, what they call, like, touching to the points. And the other thing, I just want to support, what they call Uncle Andrew, he said something about what they call it, like, it looked like, we're just blaming what they call it, the elders, but, we can't just say push one side and the other side is not balanced, It's as well the youth, the youth, we don't attend what they call it, like, the program, As he said, it's all, we just say, oh, so basically, it's two-way problem, it's not one way, So we need to come, what they call as youth and, the elders, and we need to, have more communication, So let us not just blame the elders, but we need to blame ourselves as well, we didn't contribute as well. So I reckon, Uncle James is right. Let us come back again and we discuss more, And I just want to say, come on as well, thank you to Uncle James, and he's the one who organized the program. I really appreciate it, and I just want to thank everyone for accepting what they call it, the request, and I look forward to what they call it. We come back again and we discuss more. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm finished.
Yeah, I think I am also more than happy to come back and continue this topic if we do pick a time and date that most of us will be free.
Likewise, I'm also happy to come back and finalize the point of discussion, or just do a follow-up to see what's happened since the forum.
Yeah. also, I do not mind coming back and having another discussion, and hopefully that we come to a solution and to move forward. And yeah.
Anybody gonna say something?
I think everyone is sort of on mute, so
Yep.
I think we've done well. Honestly, we've done really well. Thank you for opening this platform and for us to come and discuss the issues. How come the youth are not being involved in the community? Really, it's such a great topic, and I think we have really pointed out important points. Um, yeah, I think there is more that we can bring into the table. So like the girl said, structure and stuff like that. Really, just I hope next time we'll be more open-minded, and especially for the elders that are watching, I hope they will be open-minded. Some of them I know they have taken offense to what we have said, but I hope next time we'll be more open-minded and ready to, yeah, just to kind of listen to what the youth have to say. And yeah, really, just it's all about being open-minded. Seriously, I think if we're open, people are sorry, I'm being distracted because I don't know what everyone is doing with the thing. So it's kind of drawing my head. Yeah, but
I think people are about to fall asleep.
oh, kind of, yeah. Hopefully, we'll come up with. We've come up with great solutions to stuff like that, but I hope we're able to execute those. And let's not just let it not be just a word of mouth, but let's actually move forward and do something. Yeah, be practical about it. But yeah, anyways, thank you for having me. I was very, very honored to be here. Yeah, she just went off.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm ready, Uncle James, anytime.
Are we finished?
I think she went off. Maybe it's like connection or something.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
But yeah.
In the meantime.
Sorry, the network disconnected us. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, we're all here.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone, if you guys all finish with your summary, what I would like to say is thank you so much for your time. I know we didn't expect to take this long, but because like when you start something and then it started getting interesting, that's why like the conversation keep on going. Before you know it, time is gone. But we will respect your time, and because it's a bit like them, all I want to say is really thank you so much. And this place is like a place that like you guys can share anything you want to share, and you're all most welcome if anyone want to say something. And as we all agree, we're gonna come back again and tackle this discussion, and hopefully, as some of you mentioned, that hopefully will come to conclusion with something that can be useful for both youths and the parents. We all need each other. They are like our backbones, and they at the same time they also need us. All we need is like unite each other, and then we work together for the better future. You know, the next generation, when they will be coming, at least when like they found that the community is strong, where we can stand with each other. I know where we are. We don't have like lots of Pojulu here, but what we have here is like we are general. We have like South Sudanese community, and the South Sudanese community is like for all of us, and we have a strong youth community here. So all we need is just understanding of each other, communication with grown up, and then we can like take things forward. So once again, thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you next time. All, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rada.
Thank you.
Bye.
For your time.
Everyone.
Thank you, everybody. We shall see you guys again.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Love them.
Okay. Thank you. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your time as well. I know you've been following, and I'm sorry if like some of you didn't have a chance to say what you want to say, or you would like to join but you couldn't join. I'm really sorry, but all in all, we just need a way forward. We just need to understand each other, and then we work together. So thank you all for your time. We'll come back again with this topic, and then hopefully everyone will contribute. And the apps couldn't take all of us in. That's why like the message keep on popping up like someone need to join, but I couldn't. So thank you all for your time. Thank you once again. I don't know, Uncle Andrew, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Sorry, we are coming to the end of the show, and to everyone who's like watching us from beginning to the end, thank you so much. And please, I would just like to say on behalf of everyone that in case we said something on our discussion, if we mentioned something that like upset anyone or hurt anyone, please, we are really, really sorry. We are sorry. All we need is just to find something that like, at the end of the day will benefit all of us. That will be good for all of us. So, malis. Kui ngujamu kuyanaga mutawarja ya gayi ngutulo bijoko parents kulo malis ngaji youth school diga ponda I jambo na konsanda se kuko naga nyonaga se bai morunda I ngutulun kata ama kuko ye jambo ngadita atatindi james kase kuko ikonesi yela ata kondida ata pipika kuko enyo kasu imugak ku kuko ngukonda woku kutakonda even ki ata mora ki kuko enyo imugak ata tedin kuko masaninde mangun wole lulor kuko selo gwanyo akuko selo replace green naso ku ngutul ya retire mo ini mus ko ngutul ya kita kude kita then you get retired someone else will take over so the youths will be the one taking over from you elders if you guys are retiring from being a leaders of communities. So it's always good to teach them, give them like what need to be needed to be a leader, and then in future so that they will be able to lead the community as well. And then later on, they will also pass it to the young generations. So tinatela suling busana de akwani ko kine yite bot akati ku jambi jambu ini dingit ku lagati de mutulay ngo jambu unfortunately comment ki kune nandika ye block endali comment ki kune jore ama malis kuna ngo miss out ku kuna de ngo miss words kule out wala kon age ken comments kaso malis peter kitanan ama tinatela suling I jonga duna dingin naso nagata ko ngarakende kotinate akuden sorry anong tidangu wurja kan ngini adiko ngai kune jambi kunyo ku jamanikin karotan bo dika kuya kune pondenyo ngaji kune like kuyati rotan sena go the main like could be the main reason naga nyona kuko ebulo marundai communities, you know. So malis dika na idea tikinda kuko an opportunity ko kuko jambi iarotan naga tikinda bubulo kuko bubulo tukundo problem kika siku kuko koke ngola galo temijo kuko la ko pai ponde community lada. So kutes kis kuko ngujambo ko rotan kinaga kuko nguyunga. So dika jamani kin rotan namundu. So malis tinate yo bulot dunga du English ko ke masani ngajik di kana na aren kudo lupokin da late wala dong watching ngaji kune dika disable jambo nanyo narutan ako jambi ko English. So ibu bulo tikinda kuko chance I jambo Kortana kukong yung jambini. Tenate. Kuyati rotan kunem kebeni madu tegil kalis malis kumo iko ba jambo na rotan as long as kuko bubulo jambo na nganaga kuko yengo jambo jore yungu denaga jore laga lo yungenin in a country rotan na ba yang tunja jambo rotan koy do gadi ko madang naga yi endo adi ko kulele ningo ako jambi jambo